All right, it's time for us to update the task. Right now, we have our edit button when we're looking at the details of a single task. If we click that edit button, we see the form. We can update this form. So we can just throw whatever things we want in here, set the priority to a different priority. We can mark it completed or not. But when I hit save, all we're doing is just console logging what it is that we're changing. So we can see like, okay, title's changing, description's changing, priority is changing, and the completed is changing. But we kind of need to actually now send this out. So see how we're going to do that. In our let's see, where is it? It's going to be in the edit task page. We have access to all of these tasks. We can see here, and the callback. This is the callback for on submit, and we're just logging down, logging out. Okay, here's all the changed like title, description, priority, and completed state. And we can now know which ones we're actually doing. For example, if we didn't set the other ones, then we don't have those. Okay, we can head over to our API. We're going to want to have a pub async function. This is going to be an update task. So we are going to need a task ID, which is going to be a U32. We're going to need the token, which is a stir. And then we're going to need some kind of task. So I'm thinking actually we can create a another type here. Now the reason why I want it to be another type is I think everything is going to need to be an option, except maybe, well, the ID, yeah, we don't need the ID in there. Everything needs to be an option. That's going to be a fun issue. Now the reason why I think about that is I have a Thunder client sort of request here, where if we do a patch request and we send it to the right task ID, we just only put the things that we want to change, including completed apps. That should be fairly easy for us to do. But we don't want to put the stuff that we don't want to change. So we, that's gonna be a big deal here. Okay, so we want some kind of like updating task, like partial task. We're gonna need to create that as a types. Let's just create it as like a single type here. It's like patch type, like a patch task. Until I come up with a better name for it, that is what we're calling it. So mod, it's gonna be patch task. Okay, back to you. We're gonna view a pub, a struct, patch task, and we're really only doing this to turn it into JSON. So everything in here has to be optional because we just don't want it to exist if it's not going to be there. It's going to be either that or we're going to have to do some kind of like weird function like JSON creating thing where we're only adding that in if we really want it to. It's gonna be a little bit rough for like a string building thing. Let's see if this works and if it's actually just gonna leave out the things that we want to leave out. Okay, so we want patch task. I want so let's see. We're gonna have our title. That's gonna be an option string. We have a pub priority, which is an option string. We have a pub description. It's an option string too. And then finally we have a pub completed at. which is going to be an option string. All of them option strings. We could put the date in here, sorry, the ID in here too, but I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that. Okay, so we also need to derive, I don't know if we need to derive debug, but definitely serialize and deserialize. Okay, so back into mod. Let's go ahead and we're going to take in this patch task. So we'll call it a task, and this is a patch task. Now, returning wise, we're going to return possibly a result for this. It would probably be a good idea to return a result with an API error and just start handling those. So we'll do a result. For okay, this will be, what do we get back? So inside of here, I just get like a 200 back. I don't get like the task back when I do that. So that actually makes it a little bit easier. I want to go find my mod. So basically we just don't get anything back at all. So we get that and we'll do an API error. Okay, so time to build things out. Let our request equals our request. This is going to be a patch. Our URL is going to be the same format. We're going to go to task slash another one of these. And then, okay, so patch that. Use the base URL. And then the task ID. That is going to match what we have in here. So base URL, task ID. Okay, let's see, then I'm going to set their header. Our header, we're going to use this XAuth token. And, oh, not two quotes. And our value is going to be the token. Okay, great. Next up, so we're going to, we have to add in data. So what is it? Body? Body. Okay, this is going to have to be, you actually see this here. This has to be JSON, but unfortunately I can't just write the JSON down directly like this. It's not going to be quite as easy to do unless I do some kind of weird string creation, but that's why we created this patch task. So I want to do a body is going to be we want to do a assert JSON to string. It does not need to be pretty, and the value is going to be the task. And a reference, this could just be a reference to the task. We're taking ownership of it. Like there's no reason to create it except to be consumed inside of here. So that's going to be fine. Then we have to unwrap you. Okay, so that should make you happy. Then we're going to send you, await, and unwrap. Okay, that gives us this response. Now we can finally start handling this. So if the request dot okay, then we can just respond okay with empty. Now, otherwise, we have to do the same thing that we're doing up here. So rule 3, we haven't violated that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this out. If we do have this 401, it is going to be a not authenticated. Otherwise, it is an unknown error for right now. And you seem to be happy so far. Okay. Let's head back into edit task now. So we have all of you, which means it's time for us to create that patch task. So patch task equals, I want a patch task. Okay, so what are we gonna get? We're only gonna set these if we have them, right? So we actually have, these are all options, aren't they? Let's do a builder on this constructor, and then we can send those, we can send them with the options in, and it will like sort of create them properly. So let's do an impl patch task. We're going to take in title, which is going to be a option string. We're going to take in a priority option string, a description, and a completed at. And you're a Boolean, okay? And then because these are all just the options here, that's gonna be fine. Let's just do a self, and then we'll just do title, priority, description, completed at. Okay, so here we're gonna keep the clones and remove all these unwrapper defaults and just throw them in here. So patch task is now a new. Okay, so this will be title state. Actually, all of them have just the same thing plus state at the end, don't it? Okay, so state. Oh, we want to clone these two. Oh, come on. New state dot. You know what? I can do this cleverly by multi-cursoring it. Okay, state, and then we're going to clone. And don't forget to semicolon. I don't need this log anymore. What are you upset about? Mismatch types, expected enum option. Oh, it found this. Oh, we need to destructure before we do this. So, sorry, deref. Can I find value? Completed at state. Oh, it's completed state instead of completed at. Okay, you're fine so far. We have an error in here. So completed at is this option Boolean. Okay, so we do have to do a little bit of a fixing here. So let if the completed at, okay. So completed at is going to have to be completed at if you are a none. So let's actually just shadow this maybe a little bit. Equals if completed at, okay, so if you are a sum, we can just maybe match this. Match completed at. Okay, so if you're a something, that's a Boolean, so completed. If you're completed, okay, so if it is false, I want this to be a none. Okay, so then it's gonna be another block inside of here. So if completed at, if just completed, so we know else, we want you to be a none. Okay. Now, if you exist, you're gonna be a sum with some kind of date in it. So we need to get like the current date. So let's do, need to get the current date. To be quick about this, let's try string from and putting in just like a date like 2022, 04/20. So the time I'm recording this. Okay, so then we get that. That goes into here, and in none, this is just a none. Okay. And you know, I actually want this to be a null, and so I don't know how that's gonna end up working out. So let's come back to string else none. Am I missing? Let's see. I open and close you, else close you. That none is that. Where is this match closing? Semicolon u. Okay, there we go. Now you're going to be completed at should be an option with a string. So now you should be happy. Okay. No errors. This is going to create the patch task. And then we're going to send. Okay, so we create the patch task. I now want to send this into our state, which is, this is just a callback. We're going to now need a wasm bindgen. Wasm bindgen futures. Spawn local. We're going to have a move and a local block. We're going to need to bring the patch task over. Okay, so that's defined right here. That's going to be fine. We need the token. So that's in here. So let token equals, it's going to be a use store. We have to tell it the type. Store type. Okay, so dot state map state. I know I'm running out of time for this. Let's see how far I can get. I want the state dot token. Then we're gonna unwrap or default. So that should give us a string here. I want to, okay, so now that comes into here. We have to now clone you in here. So that token equals token.clone. And now you're available in here. So let's do an API. It's going to be an update task. Okay, so task ID. The next thing we need is the task ID. Do we have access to that? We do. It's in the props ID here. So let's grab this as well. That task ID is equal to props.id. This implements copy, so that should be fine. We just sort of need it to bring it on through for us. Task D equals task D. And then, okay, so task ID, we have you, we have our token, and we have our patch task. We are going to await this, and we could unwrap this. It is a result type. Hopefully it doesn't have an error. So that's, oh, you need to be an async block. I think it's async move. See, what are you upset about? You need to be a reference, okay? And one more error. What are you upset about? Cannot move out of an RC. Oh, right, I want to clone here. No errors. Let's see if this works. So we're gonna go ahead and start over from the beginning, come into here. Okay, so I see the completed. Let's just uncomplete, mark this to C. Description, add some exclamation points to all of these. And if I hit save, I wanna see what happens here. Well, we got a panicked, unwrap on error value unknown. Okay, so we got the unknown error. The patch, we got a 500. Update. Data does not contain any values to update. Our request did contain completed at null. Description. Okay, so we sent all of this stuff up in. Okay, so that seems correct. But we got an error. So unfortunately, I'm out of time for right now. But we'll have to debug this and figure out what went wrong next time. So I will see you in that video shortly. Thank you very much. Bye.